What's going on, party people? Welcome back to the Glory Days Sports Show. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below to get put in for that free Corey Davis jersey giveaway. Also, before we hop into it, drop those score predictions down below now. And on top of that, drop any Titans or fantasy football related questions below, and I'll answer all of those in a very timely manner, and potentially might even make a new video over that over tomorrow. But today we're breaking down this week's Thursday night matchup game as the Indianapolis Colts and Phillip Rivers travel to Nissan Stadium to take on Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans, a rivalry that runs deep that could ultimately decide a division winner by the season's end, as the Titans currently sit atop at 6-2 after they dispatched of the Bears on Sunday, breaking a 2-game skid. On the opposite side, the Colts fall to 5-3 after losing to Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. And it seems at this point in the season, it looks like Old Man Rivers is ending his career sooner rather than later, especially after that faceplant on the pick six. Even to his credit though, it shows that he could still take advantage of a less than stellar Malcolm Butler-led secondary for the Titans, which in itself did just have its best outing of the season against the Bears, especially with the newly acquired Desmond King, who did have a scoop and score in his first career game as a Titan, even without practice. But the real story of the game was the third down conversions, and by that I mean lack thereof by the Bears, as they were held to 2 of 15 on the day, which before the game, the Titans were on pace to give up the highest percentage in NFL history in a season. But for the Colts to win this game, they will need to use that to their advantage and stay on schedule on first and second downs. This is an offense that is yet to truly find its identity, and it reminds me a lot where the Titans were just a few years ago. Everybody knows Jonathan Taylor is the future of the backfield, Derrick Henry, and it gets stronger as the game progresses. But they aren't willing to give him the touches quite yet, it looks like, as Jordan Wilkins led the team in carries for the second straight week. And Hines is always going to get his on third downs as well, we know that. But they need to be effective with the run game to take the ball out of Phillip Rivers' hands as much as possible. It's to eliminate those turnovers. Something the Titans have surprisingly been really good at on defense. It's also a big note. Will either T.Y. Hilton or Clowney be able to play in this game? At this point, I anticipate both will play in this game, as both have been full participants in practice this week. And Clowney, if he was going to have the surgery for the meniscus scope, he would have already had it done, I believe. On the other side of the ball, we have both of the team's strengths facing off Derrick Henry and the team's rushing attack versus Darius Leonard and the Colts' ability to slow down opposing running backs. Both are looking to bounce back after having subpar last outings, as Henry was held to under 70 yards with the 20-plus touches, and the Colts allowing 2 rushing touchdowns against Baltimore. Luckily for the Titans, they were able to pivot to Tannehill in the passing game, which was down at the start of the game due to some uncharacteristic drops, I would say, but picked it up when it mattered, specifically with A.J. Brown, who has had 6 receiving touchdowns in the past 5 games, capping last week with a beautiful over-the-shoulder throw from Tannehill in double coverage before reaching out over that pylon. At this point, it's near impossible to not have A.J. as a top 5 wideout in the league, with names like Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones. The two fighting for that 5 spot, in my opinion, is Brown and his former running mate DK Metcalf. And maybe it's just a little team bias, but I lean slightly Brown over DK in this game. Specifically, though, I believe Brown will have a good, not great game, but I believe his running mate Corey Davis bounces back from last week, where he had 3 targets for 0 catches and has an amazing day. It almost seems like him and Brown rotate good games these days, and it just happens to be Corey's turn to turn out and show out. We also did have a Jonnu Smith sighting this past weekend, as he found the end zone on a wide open pass. But I don't expect a big game for him or Furcher in this game, as the Colts rank first against the opposing tight ends at this point in the season. And after a very hot start, Smith has hit a wall. He can almost credit that to Arthur Smith treating him as the number 2 receiver with Brown out to start the year. But since he's came back in the lineup, those receptions and targets have taken a big dip. After 5 receptions against Buffalo in the first game back, it's fallen to 1 reception, 2 reception over the last 4 games, with the only 1 touchdown coming last week against the Bears. If the tight end has a big game in this one, I'm anticipating it to either be Gigantor Moai Cox or Trey Burton. But I've always been a Burton truther ever since his days with the Eagles. He's been running a lot of route these last couple weeks and for the Colts, and we all know how much Phillip Rivers loves his tight ends. Then Mo Alley-Cox really only needs one catch to have a great fantasy day, and we've seen that. This should also be a very good battle across the lines, and it could very well lean toward DeForest Buckner and the Colts, especially if Roger Saffold isn't 100%. Because we all saw the Jamil Douglas experience last season, and if you were a starting quarterback behind that movie was rated R. But I am ecstatic over this game, guys. I love Thursday Nighters, even if it's a Titans-Jags game. Really. But that brings us to prediction time. I see this being a very, very close game that'll come down to the last couple minutes to where a big play will occur, sending us into OT. But I'm taking the Titans in this one to win 27-20 in overtime with a walk-off Corey Davis touchdown. But that's it for me today, guys. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below to get all that juicy NFL content. But till next time, deuces.